ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ರಾಮಾಯ ರಾಮಭದ್ರಾಯ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರಾಯ ವೇಧಸೆ ರಘುನಾಥಾಯ ನಾಥಾಯ ಸೀತಾಯ ಪತಯೇ ನಮಃ. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 55 of Aranya Kanda. In the previous chapter, we saw Ravana forcefully abjecting Sita from her ashrama, from her hut, in the absence of Rama and Lakshmana. Ravana taking Sita away to Lanka was opposed by Jatayu, but then he fought with him and finally killed Jatayu and took away Sita to Lanka. And there he is putting her in his inner apartment, forcing her to be his consort. Having issued commands to those 8 titans renowned for their prowess, Ravana, whose perception was concluded, considered that he had prepared himself for every eventuality. Brooding on Vaidehi, sorely pierced by the shafts of the god of love, he hastened to his sumptuous apartments, inflamed with desire for her presence. Entering there, Ravana, the king of the Titans, observed Sita overcome with grief, surrounded by Titan women, like a ship foundering in the sea at the mercy of a storm or a gazelle separated from the herd beset by hounds. Then Ravana, approaching that princess whose head was bowed and who was disconsolate, compelled her to view that mansion resembling the abode of gods, containing many stories and spacious apartments, inhabited by innumerable women and enriched by countless gems, while flocks of birds filled it with their caroling. Graceful pillars of gold, ivory, crystal, and silver, encrusted with emeralds and diamonds, could be seen, and celestial gongs resounded there. Ravana, in company with Sita, ascended the magnificent golden stairway ornamented with burnished gold, who those lofty buildings possessed excellent windows of gold and ivory covered with golden trellises, and their marble floors were inlaid with precious stones that shed their luster everywhere. Then Dashagreva showed Maithili the fountain and pools covered with lotuses and every kind of flower. All this did he bring to the notice of Sita, who was overcome with grief, and after directing Vaidehi's attention to the splendors of the palace, that perverse wretch, with the intention of seducing her, said, O Sita, apart from the aged and the children, 10,000 titans, rangers of the night, all of whom are famed for their exploits, acknowledge me as their lord, and each among has placed 1,000 loyal servants at my disposal. However, whatever the greatness that he is showing, soon all that will going to be reduced to ashes once Hanuman visits Lanka and burn the entire Lanka. And even those servants whom Ravana is boasting about, even many of them will be killed in the hands of Hanuman, and soon the whole Lanka will going to perish once Rama arrives here. But Ravana is unaware of it. This entire state, as also my life, is yours. He should have told the same thing to all those 1,000 women whom he captured during the war or some other means. O large eyed lady, you are dearer to me than life itself. This is how exactly a masculine character keeps telling to every woman they encounter, saying that they are dearer to him than his life itself. But if someone asks him to give up the life, they never will. O Sita, become the queen of those numerous excellent women who are my wives. He must have brought at least some 1,000 women from different parts of the world. At least Ravana here is prompt enough to show all his wives and telling her the lie that she will be the queen for all of them. But in fact, many other men don't even show that they have other women, and they keep telling that they are still virgin and and this was their first love, and keep saying that they tried to seduce the women. And the irony is the women do fall for such kind of things, even though they are very well aware of the masculine nature. Oh, beloved, be my consort. It is to your advantage. What boots it to consider out else? Do yourself give my proposal your consideration. It behoves you to look favorably on me, who am burning with desire. Surrounded by the ocean, this city of Lanka, extending for 100 yojanas, can never be taken by storm, even by the gods themselves, with Indra at their head. Among the celestials, Yakshas, Gandharvas, and Nagas, I can see none in all the world equal to me in prowess. In fact, he even received a boon from Brahma that Yakshas, celestials, Gandharvas, Nagas, Devas, they cannot kill him, but not the humans. And Rama here is appearing in the form of a human. I can see none in all the worlds equal to me in prowess, deprived of his kingdom, without possessions, dedicated to ascetic practices, traveling on foot. What can you hope from Rama? Mere man without resources. O Sita, I am a consort worthy of you. Do yourself accept me. Youth soon will going to pass away. O darling, enjoy these delights with me. O lady of charming mien, do not think of seeing Raghava again. How could he come here even in thought? You who can fetter the impetuous wind in the sky or seize the pure flame of a brazier, none in the three worlds may snatch you from my arms. Do yourself rule over this vast empire of Lanka and all beings animate and inanimate. Even I and the God shall be your servants. But is it really in spirit? If Ravana really in spirit became her servant, allowing Sita to rule over Lanka, then Sita can immediately command him to surrender her back to Rama. But that can never be possible. Your former evil karma has been expiated by the time passed by you in the forest. It is here that you will be able to pluck the fruit of your good deeds in my company, O Maithili. Enjoy these gardens with their divine fragrance and these magnificent ornaments. With me, do yourself, disport yourself in the aerial chariot Pushpaka, bright as the sun that was once Vaishvanara's, which was also stolen from him, which I won by my prowess in combat, that vast and beautiful car, that aerial vehicle, swift as thought. Your countenance, flawless and lovely to look upon, pure as a lotus, is wan on account of sorrow and has lost its radiance. O lady of lovely limbs and gracious features, while he was speaking, the beautiful Sita covered her face that sparkled like the moon with the hem of her robe and allowed her tears to flow. Whereat the sinful Ravana, that ranger of the night, addressed Sita, who was sunk in thought and forlorn, her cheeks pale on account of grief, saying, O Vaidehi, do not fear to contravene Dharma. The ceremony that shall consecrate our union is sanctioned by Veda. This is the irony of everybody, even ordinary beings, keep on reading the Vedas and Shastras. From which part of the Veda this has been accepted? Of course, Vedas do mention about four different types of the marriages. Among them, the best form of the marriage is the Brahma or Brahmana method of marriage. In the Brahmana type of marriage, the woman is given her hand into the hand of the groom as a means of kanya dana, that means donating her to the groom. And that is how exactly Sita got married to Rama. Janaka gave her hand in marriage to Rama, and that is the best form of the marriage because it has the approval of both the parents from the groom side as well as the bride side. Whereas the next level of marriage is the Gandharva Vivaha, wherein the boy and the girl who marry at their own will without needing the permission from their parents. That is always considered at the next level. It is because of that reason most boys and girls who get involved in the love, they try to obtain the permission of their parents. And if their parents are nowhere to hear to them, only then they involve in this Gandharva Vivaha. But snatching somebody forcibly, either after winning over in a war or whatever it is, snatching someone forcibly and marrying them, like what Ravana did with Sita, is also been specified in the Veda as Asuri Vivaha or Rakshasi Vivaha, the marriage of demons. Only the demons do follow it and is not recommended for people with civilian or people with civic sense. The last type of the marriage is also there, which is worse than this. That is called as Pishacha Vivaha, the marriage of goblins. The Pishacha Vivaha, girl was forcibly, after raping her, she was forced to get married. She is even beaten to almost death, near death experience, and she is forced to marry the boy. And this is the last and the worst among all the type of marriages. Vedas do mention about the marriages. Vedas do mention about many other things. If someone who doesn't have the proper intellect, if they read through the Vedas or Shastras, they will try to understand everything according to their own whims and fancy. And it is because of that reason, generally in Bharata, it has been prohibited that everyone should not read Vedas and Shastras. It even goes to the extent that if someone who is not entitled, if someone who is not made eligible reads the Vedas and Shastras, they should be severely punished. Not because that there is something great in that, but because they try to misinterpret whatever the great things which are there in those Vedas and Shastras. It is to avoid such kind of misinterpretation, like what Ravana is now doing in front of Sita, to avoid such misinterpretation. Generally, unless and until someone has been formally initiated through a guru, should not go ahead reading the Vedas and Shastras and try to interpret the things at their own whims and fancy. I press your tender feet with my head, grant my prayer speedily. Man can go to any extent, even to put his head at the feet of the girl in order to seduce her. But after, in case if she falls for him, then he will straight away catch hold of her neck. I press your tender feet with my head, grant my prayers speedily. I am your slave and ever obedient to you. May these words, inspired by the torments of love, not prove fruitless. Never before has Ravana bowed his head before a woman. Having, even in that also, you can observe the ego of Ravana. Having spoken thus to Maithili, the daughter of Janaka, Dashagreva, under the sway of destiny, thought, she is mine. This is how exactly a masculine character goes. A masculinity may allow him, and that ego of a man makes him think that if I show her this whole power, if I show her this mansion, if I show her my richness, if I show her my power, if I am too much of love towards her, then she will fall at my feet and she will accept me whatever I do. But that never goes because feminine nature is completely different and very difficult to understand. Thus came to the end chapter 55 of Aranya Kanda in Ramayana. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, त्वामहं प्रार्थये नित्यं विद्यादानं च देहि मे. Goodbye.